Irene Fehr here, sex coach for committed couples. I work with a lot of new couples who are just getting married, couples who have gotten married, couples who have also been married for a couple of years. And there's something happens around marriage, whether it's right away or even before getting married or a couple of years after. And that's this pattern of sex waning. Sometimes that happens for one person, sometimes that happens for both. Sexual desire going away and the couple having less and less sex. So I want to talk about this pattern of what happens for many couples when they find themselves here. Here's the thing, when we meet each other, when we are courting each other, we are in a very different space of mind. We are willing to experiment with each other, learn about each other. And that learning requires risks. It requires us to not only take our clothes off, but also open up, take off our emotional mask that we put on to look a certain way or to come across a certain way, and to let the other person get to know us. After marriage, that stops, and in a moment I'll tell you why. Two things happen. In a marriage or in a long-term committed relationship, we open our hearts to each other, which makes us, of course, a lot more vulnerable to being hurt. And to avoid that hurt, the second thing that happens is that we focus on pleasing our partners and going out of our way to make them happy. For women, it comes off as pleasing our partners, and for men, it comes off as the inherent masculine desire to provide for their partners. And that can also happen in a same-sex relationship as well. These are all beautiful gestures and desires to be partners. This is what partnership is about, is to open our hearts to each other, to please each other, to make each other happy. But not in sex. Sex works differently. In sex, when we stop connecting to our own eroticism and pleasure, that selfishness, that inherently selfish feeling of, I want you for me, we actually short circuit the sexual connection. And this is what it starts to look like. So for women, when sex becomes all about pleasing their partners for fear of hurting them, they stop asking for what they want in sex. They stop asking for the precise things that would make their body get turned on, for the kind of actions or movements or connection that would actually have them be turned on. And there's a lot of fear of not pleasing their partners, or being too much, taking too much time. So women will hold back from asking for what they want, or they will hold back from telling their partners what's not working, which is often the cause of a lot of pain that women experience. Pain during intercourse, painful sex. And women will not get the pleasure that they need. For sex to be worth wanting, it will not be as pleasurable because it'll be just so scary to ask or to really stand up for what your body needs. It becomes too risky. So they pull away from that. And they often will have sex for their partners and not for themselves, wanting to please their partners, wanting to be there for them, but not asking for what they need. For men, it's different. Men really want to provide for women. They want to provide a pleasurable experience. And in a marriage or a committed long-term relationship, what happens is that they want to please their women, but that also has them pull back from actually being overtly sexually hungry for them, or to be risky with them, to really show their sex drive, the magnitude of their sex drive. So men will pull away from initiating as much. They will be less forthcoming. They will be less willing to take charge of the situation. And what I hear from men and from women all the time is that men who really want to provide sexual pleasure for their women will ask women, what do you want? Just let me know what you want and I will provide it. And what that does is actually gives the reins of leading sex to women, which does not work for many women. Women want to they want to be taken on a ride by their partners. They want their male partners, whether it's physically male or the partner who is home in masculine energy, to take them on an experience, an erotic experience, to open their bodies, to crack open their bodies and their hearts. And when women have to take the reins over the sex and their pleasure, that gets lost. And so she's not able to enjoy it, and then the man can't really provide that for her, because that's something that has to come from them. So both partners here pull away from the risk that erotic sex takes and requires. And it creates a disconnect because, of course, both partners feel like something is off, and it creates patterns of disconnect and pulling away from each other or hiding. And here is the thing. So what I want to leave you with from this video is that in a long-term relationship, just like it's important in the beginning of a relationship, risk plays a huge role. It creates the excitement in the beginning, that excitement of getting to know your partner, because you don't know them, so you have to open up to them. And risk is also needed to keep the excitement going long term. And that risk comes from being connected to your own desire, to your own eroticism, to your own selfish sexual hunger for your partner, or for whatever you want to be done to your body together in the partnership. And this is where I help clients create a balance of caring and loving and wanting to provide for their partners, and also being selfish and connecting to their own sexual desire and passion. This is where I teach clients the art of eroticism in a long-term relationship, between that balance of caring and loving and security and that erotic sexual desire and pleasure. So if you want to learn more about that, check out the website, irenefehr.com, for more information or ways to go deeper in this work and to explore this for you and your partner.